August, and this video is just going to be a brief wrap-up of yesterday's information that came in related to student loan forgiveness, forbearance, and what the incoming Biden administration initial goals are, or what they plan to do with it. First and foremost, everybody who's anticipating that dreaded day of February 1 where they have to pay their student loans, and because those payments will resume, I don't think you need to worry about that. Yesterday, the Biden administration came out and they did say affirmatively that they will be extending the student loan forbearance due to the COVID pandemic and the interest rate freeze. They haven't put out a date yet, but so far we know that there's 3 dates that are potentially going to be the target for the resumption of payments. One of the proposed stimulus bills that went up before this recent one got approved, April 30th was the date. Early on, House Democrats were looking at a date that would extend these forbearances and the interest rate freeze until June or July. And then some House Democrats early on wanted to just extend the forbearance and the freeze indefinite until they kind of got a hold of this coronavirus pandemic. I'll tell you, I don't think it's going to be, definitely not going to be an indefinite suspension with no date in mind. That's just not how government works. They like to put end dates on anything, especially if it's something that's going to benefit people. So, and I don't think the April date will be a viable date because that's just right around the corner. So I think the expectation is that it'll likely get extended through the summer, maybe June or July, and then at that point it'll be reevaluated, just kind of looking at the pandemic, looking at the logistics of the vaccine distribution and how is that taking effect, and then it may be potentially extended if the numbers and the coronavirus numbers and the job numbers keep going in the direction that it's going. But that's kind of what we have in front of it. Just as a little bonus, when you talk about student loan forgiveness right now, as of yesterday, Biden administration said that they're definitely in favor of a $10,000 forgiveness across the board. I will tell you, again, one of the things I talked about in the earlier video is that the fact that Biden is calling on Congress to come up with legislation that will eliminate $10,000 is the problem in and of itself, because presumably if this is going to get done and is going to get done fast, it would be easier for him to do it by executive order. That may have some legal challenges because based on the Constitution, Congress has the authority and the power of the purse. They control the money. So when you have the president eliminating student loans, that's a debt that people owe to the actual government. It's a kind of a unique line because now that executive order could be interpreted as actually trying to control the purse strings of the United States government. But that's kind of where we're at now. I'll tell you, I did look this morning. There's another potential with this whole student loan forgiveness thing. If the student loan forgiveness is done, whether it's by executive order or by Congress, there does have to be an update in the legislation and tax code, because currently if you have $50,000 of student loan that's forgiven, that's treated as you receiving gross income. So you would have to pay taxes on that $50,000. So if there's going to be a forgiveness across the board, especially for a large amount, $50,000 or over, there'll have to be some legislation that addresses it in a tax code, because what would be the point of eliminating someone's $300,000 student loan debt if that $300,000 forgiveness is counted as gross income? They have to pay 20% taxes on that, for example, and now they're looking at a $60,000 tax bill. I mean, $60,000 is definitely less than $300,000, but now you're at that point where you owe the government money. Is a tax bill, IRS. See the video on the link above. That's a road that could get ridiculous as well. But that's it. So I am going to put a link right above, and it'll show you some ways you could take advantage if the student loan forbearance is extended. Well, since the student loan forbearance is going to be extended, even though we don't know how long. I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope this information helped. Take care. Peace.